perfectly legal.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny Morning Show here on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames for Friday, the 13th of January, 2017, when the Mothman and the Liquid Creatures come out to get you.
The Liquid Creatures?
Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the pride of Axiom Verge, Colin Moriarty.
You gotta stop. I don't like.
It's too late, buddy. The die was cast and you didn't stop it, and now the dies are out of the station,
I
rolling
told you.
down the
I mean, it's not that
tracks.
I'm like offended by it. I just think it's not ideal, you know. And I don't even remember how to do the show anymore. So
It's different.
and apparently I'm not hosting it anymore.
It's super different.
What
now,
happened
man.
to Colin Greg live?
Dead. Murdered for you. But the one thing that's still true, Colin, is that anything can happen on the Kinda Funny Morning Show. How are you feeling today?
I'm fine.
Do you have a Switch hangover?
Yeah, I was up late, thinking about it.
Yeah. Thinking about it. Cut to Colin in his bed, just staring at the ceiling, like, huh? What is that Switch all about? I don't know what's all going on.
Yeah, no, it was a night.
Yeah, we have lots to talk about. This show will be pretty much Switch-oriented, talking about it a little bit after, following up with some of the news. People, of course, playing it. Our own Tim Gettys, Kevin Coelho out in New York playing it right now. We'll follow up with some of their tweets, see what they think. But first things first, like I said, Colin, anything can happen. Nick, I need you to come sit in.
You need me to come sit in?
Yeah, for 2 seconds. I just gotta go to the bathroom.
Sure.
Sorry, we ran out of time today. Just clip, you know how to do this? You clip it to your shirt, and then you just talk to Colin.
It's a microphone.
How you feeling today?
I'm good. I woke up 40 minutes ago. I overslept. I didn't set an alarm last night. I was up late last night.
What were you doing? You cutting Colin Greg live? No, Colin was right?
No, I was marinating, but also I was playing a little bit of Tales of Berseria, and then I was marinating on this because I was thinking about, and we'll talk about it in a little while, but I was thinking about should the next Colin Was Right also be about Switch, or would that be kind of redundant since the first episode was about Switch, and then the third episode would therefore also be about Switch.
I feel
But
like
it
you're going
seems
to get a lot of
time.
mileage out of Switch on Colin Was Right, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that will be the last time you talk about it. I just kind of hung it there like a dick. What is happening?
Happy
birthday to you.
Where did you get those from?
Happy birthday.
This is a gift from Matt Scarpino, who's on FaceTime right now.
Oh, hey, what's up, Matt Scarpino?
Happy birthday,
that's
dear
nice.
Nick.
What is this little fat sack?
Happy birthday to you.
Look at this thing.
And many more.
Thanks, guys.
Nick's 26 years young today,
There it
everybody.
is. Yeah, I wish.
His brother sent very large balloons.
How did you get these up here? These are amazing.
Where did you hide them?
Yeah, where were these?
They were hiding in the stairwell. Here, you talk to Matt. I hung up on him.
Hi.
Hey.
You're on the morning show. Look,
I know I am. No, I'm watching on Twitch right now.
that's fantastic.
You got Chris too.
Hey, Chris, what's up, brother? Thank you. Thank you for the balloons. They're overwhelming.
Is it awesome? They said they would be sort of a Avenger and sort of like birthday boy of balloons.
Greg's probably having a little bit of a conniption fit because we are mixing the universes right now.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got
that's
Avengers
what
up
I
here.
was worried about that.
Avengers.
Spidey's back here.
Then we have Superman.
Yeah, and Batman.
Yeah, but it's Jim Lee Superman, but it's the cinematic universe Superman, then classic Batman.
Yeah, love it. No, this is my favorite by far.
The Batman.
Yeah, by far.
Good.
Well, thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Did you get any emails today?
I haven't really checked my emails just yet. We were getting the morning show. Kevin and Tim are in New York, so I have to try to figure out how this fucking studio works. So that's been fun. But I'll call you back later. I'll check my emails.
Your email.
Okay, thanks.
Love you, bud.
Bye, love you too.
Thanks, Greg.
No problem.
Thanks, bud.
This is supposed to be Kevin bitch work, of course, but since he had to go do real work,
I know, god damn it.
Yeah, here we go.
This
Colin's
back
gonna
to-
get high.
You'll get high off of helium.
Oh my god. Are you leaving your balloons out here?
Where do you want them?
I don't know, wherever you want them.
You just leave them.
Yeah, they're leaving. They're staying here.
I don't think we're watching any videos. I can put them on the ground so they actually get behind us, so they actually get seen.
Well, let me see what this looks like with a sky cam.
A nightmare.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Looks nice there, actually. You can put them on the ground.
Yeah, well, I want them to be displayed, you know?
Wow, those look really good back there. There you go.
So happy
thanks,
birthday,
guys.
Nick.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Big plans for the birthday weekend?
Yeah, helping Sean Finnegan shoot a music video.
There you go.
There you go.
He's helped us shoot a lot of our shit, though.
Yes, he's a good guy. So we're gonna have some fun this weekend and shoot some cool stuff.
Good. All right. Colin.
Yeah.
This is the Kinda Funny Morning Show each and every weekday here on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. We come at you with the nerdy news you need to know about before jumping into the chat to answer those questions, comments, and concerns. But of course, in between those two segments, we give away a brand new video game for one of you to enjoy out there in the world. Let's start with the big thing, and I don't even think there are stories to pull up and things to do, but Nintendo Switch, how you feeling the day after the event?
Oh, not very excited. But I have a secret.
Uh-oh.
I have a secret.
Do we have to,
Last night I was up late.
Uh-huh.
And I was just browsing Twitter.
Uh-huh.
Something popped on Twitter.
Sure, what about?
It said, Amazon pre-orders are now live.
Yeah.
I went ahead and pre-ordered one, in case anyone else wanted it.
Yeah.
I was sending an email to the crew.
Dark Crew.
Yeah. Being like, hey, I got a pre-order.
Yeah.
I go to Facebook because I get a little notification about something else. I see Tim. Because in the parentheses in my thing, I was like, I'm speaking mostly to Tim, but I have a pre-order because I figured Tim was asleep in New York City because it was 3 hours ahead. It must have been 4 later in New York City.
Yeah.
And then he got his or whatever.
Okay.
Maybe from the same allotment or whatever.
Yeah.
So now I just have a Switch pre-order.
What are you gonna do with it?
Whoever, if any of you guys want it, I'll give it to you. My only caveat is I just want to play Zelda on if possible. At some point after you're done with it, or whoever's done with it.
What are the odds?
I could also cancel it.
What are the odds you end up keeping? You think?
Very low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get to recapping because I want to talk about. I pre-ordered Switch last night. Similar thing. I'm on the fence about it. I'll probably end up keeping it. We'll get to that. So, Nick, if you'll throw up the first story, this is, of course, Nintendo.com. We have a bunch of stats up here. This is the big announcements in terms of pricing. This is one of the big questions going into last night we needed to know, right? How much was this motherfucker going to cost? We have it now, $300 here if you go. This is for the Nintendo Switch with the gray Joy-Con. Still a terrible name for a controller if you ask me, Colin. You agree?
Yeah, no, stupid name. You find interesting little trademarks that you can slap on things.
I really hate the fact that if you scroll down, I have no view on, there's no second monitor going for me, Nick, so I can't tell where you are. If you're looking at the neon colors here, hate that they're mix and match neons. Give me a blue Switch and a red Switch. Don't give me the blue and red Switch, because then this plays into their whole game of, well, why don't you buy one half of it for $50? We'll get to that in a second. Keep on scrolling. This is insulting. The Pro controller is $70. Very upsetting. My whole thing from when they showed the initial Switch trailer, I was like, oh, what I'm going to do is buy the Switch. Then when I go on planes, carry the Pro controller with me, just put it on little table stuff. Tim Gettys tweeting today from the event saying that that's the setup, that's amazing, and he loves it. But $70 for this controller? That's more than a PlayStation 4 controller, more than an Xbox One controller?
Well, the console's more than an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, so.
Good point, solid point. Then the Joy-Con controller, scrolling down again, they're packaged together for $80. You can get them together for $80. Then if you scroll down, you can get half of them for $50. That's half for $50. That's if you want to do that. Joy-Con charging grip, $30. The dock set, a separate dock set. So if you want to have, one in the living room and in your bedroom, $90 for just the dock set. That a lot of people were offended by. I don't personally know the ins and outs of how that's working.
Well, based on the inflated cost of everything else, you can assume that that's not an appropriate cost for that.
Sure, that's where it gets. If everything else was appropriately priced, and then this was $90 or whatever it is, yeah, $90, it'd be like, okay, I guess there's processing power in it, right? I mean, that's taking it from 720 to 1080 or whatever. I don't know what the hell's going on. And then the stupid fucking wheels nobody ever cares about. When they announced the initial price, $300, what was your reaction?
That's the price I predicted. So I think that's a reasonable price because I think that the Switch has to have some sort of it's a boutique item, but it has to justify its price yet also come off as something that's worth buying. I do think that there's a clear maybe unspoken economic rule that something that's too cheap comes off as too cheap, and you don't want to make you don't want to price yourself out of thinking that this is an item that's a little more sturdy and a little more technologically advanced perhaps than Wii U or 3DS. But my bigger concern because a lot of people were saying $250, some people were saying $200. I thought $200 was completely impossible. But $250 is giving them a lot of room to flex because I was afraid that if they didn't do something right with the Switch, that they would need to lower the price immediately, like they did with 3DS back in the day. People remember. A lot of people forget that 3DS is about 60 million sold, but 3DS was getting its fucking clock cleaned for the first year or so.
Yeah.
It was selling awfully.
Until the light, really, right?
There were no games.
Yeah,
and it was just bad.
That's not correct.
when people make fun of my Vita success article, a lot of people forget that was written in that environment.
Yeah.
And so they dropped the price there. And lo and behold, it was worse than I could have possibly imagined. And they do need that room to maneuver because Switch is not going to sell well. And, I was on the Amazon pre-order thing for and I actually went back later. I was like, they were still available. I mean, it wasn't like this thing was it was like PSVR was gone.
Yeah.
Well,
that seemed to be the case that Walmart's allotment went up and Walmart was gone while we were talking about Walmart's going up. Then Best Buy went up and Best Buy was up long enough. I don't know when it went out or if it went out. It was up long enough for us to finish our stream, me to process those videos, and me to go refresh Amazon. It's still not there. Go to Best Buy, put in my information, got it to the cart. I'm like, I just don't like Best Buy. I don't want to use Best Buy. Bailed out. It was still there though. And then Amazon, like you said, was there. And then I saw somebody else tweet this morning that Amazon had gotten more and put more into their thing or whatever.
Mr. Machu says Zelda sells though. No, it doesn't actually, and that's the bigger kind of angle. Zelda will sell very respectably, but it's not going to do Mario Kart 8 numbers. It's not going to do Smash Brothers numbers. So
as we saw with previous versions of
Zelda.
Zelda.
Skyward Sword was really the last major one, and people remember that Skyward Sword on a console with an 100 million install base came out around the same time as Uncharted 3 on a console with about half that install base, and Uncharted 3 healthily outsold Skyward Sword. So you really can't make those assumptions because actually Zelda isn't a massive seller. It's not like what we talk about the Metroid conundrum where everyone's like, well, Metroid, and like Metroid is sold not very much lifetime across all of its games. So no, that's not a system seller. Zelda people are excited about, but people thinking that there is going to be 10 million Switches sold on the back of Zelda are wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of keep those things, which is why I was surprised that Mario wasn't ready, because I actually think Mario is way more important than Zelda.
I agree 100%, and that game looked great. I think that there would be do you want to keep going on there? I want to run through the games, too, in case somebody's waking up or watching this with us and doesn't know. Nick, can we go out of order on the stories? Can you go to the games one, the Switch games one that I had up from Nintendo? No problem. Thanks, bud. These Nintendo Switch here, around their thing here, they have a list of games coming. These are their big ones. They start with Zelda. Then it's ARMS, that weird fighting game they showed. Then it's 1-2 Switch. Then it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Then it's Splatoon 2, which we'll get to in a little bit. That is not a true sequel to Splatoon. It is enhanced Splatoon, but they're calling it Splatoon 2. The Sniper Clips, whatever the hell that is. FIFA, which is just FIFA. Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, which did we ever get a real release date on that? I wasn't sure last night. I don't think it ever came up. Now it wants me to verify.
I think it's fall. But
is
I
it
don't,
fall?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad they're taking their time with that.
Yeah, you'll get to play that on Switch 6 years after everyone else played it.
Super Bomberman R, which people are excited for, Minecraft, NBA, Street Fighter 2, Just Dance 2017, Has Been Heroes, which actually looks interesting. And then there's that's the stuff they were going big with last night. And of course, Project Octodad, or whatever the fuck it was. Octo Traveler.
Project Octopath Traveler. Octopath Traveler.
And so I think right here, there's stuff I want in this. You know what I mean? Zelda's cool, but I think if that Mario game was a launch game, I think the tenor of this discussion would be different. If it was, all right, cool, we're coming out of the gate, and we have Zelda, and we have Mario, and there's awesome games right away ready to go.
Well, that's the thing, is that, we have a Wii U, and it's that was the, I wanted Zelda on Switch. I think it would be great on Switch. By the way, it's going to run about 900p on Switch, apparently, which is incredible. And that's on your TV.
Okay.
The hits just keep on coming with this thing. Not that I care, but we have to remember when Rise was running on Xbox One at 900p in 2013, that was like a fucking meltdown.
Yep.
We're talking about 3.5 years after that.
Sure.
So
lowered expectations, though, right? Nobody expects this from Nintendo.
Well, I think it's an inverse kind of a relationship, because it's lowered expectations from Nintendo, but certainly higher expectations because it is not 2013.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted a Zelda game. And we're getting a Zelda game, and it looks fantastic. But I thought that there'd be something supplemental that would be there where I would be like, oh, this is interesting. And on NeoGAF, I found this list of games, the launch games that someone had dug up. And then I did my own little list that I tweeted out where I was like, these are the launch games. And there's really only 4 of them that are even new. The biggest name, and I don't know if the list is accurate anymore or whatever, still I know that people are roving. There were some suggestions that the list is not even that big. And
Twitch. Nick, I'm going to toss this into this link in here to the top of the list, if you can open it up for us.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
And so
turn on this TV too.
We're looking at a list of games that for me is just super fucking underwhelming.
The TV's on, Greg. It might be on the wrong input for some reason.
Oh, okay.
I'm not seeing anything come through, but it looks like it's plugged in.
Okay. You can keep going. Nothing super interesting.
No, I mean, we're talking about, it's like, Rayman Legends. Rayman Legends came out in 2013. I Am Setsuna, I just platinumed last summer. and people were comparing it to other launches, and I'm like, guys, this isn't the worst Nintendo launch by a mile, but because there's a lot of people just not thinking or just don't know their history. I mean, the N64 launched with literally 2 games, although one of them is considered one of the great games of all time. The 3DS had a fucking awful launch library, like a fucking terrible launch library. Like the Pilot Wings Resort or whatever the fuck it was,
Yeah.
it's not that bad. But it's bad. And, people were like, well, PS4 and Xbox One launched with ports, and I'm like, no, actually, it really didn't. PS4's launch library was actually fantastic, and Xbox One's was very strong too. It launched with a Call of Duty game, a Battlefield game, an Assassin's Creed game, all brand new. An NBA 2K game, a FIFA game, a Madden game, Resogun, Killzone. I mean,
there are a lot of games.
Please. Like, it's night and day, And people are like, well, those games were out on other consoles. And I'm like, Call of Duty came out on October 29th on PS3 and November 13th on PS4. Not 2014 on PS3 and November 13th.
Well, that's the same thing we're seeing with, this is like the shades of the Wii U, right? Where it's like, all right, here's Mass Effect and Batman. And you're like, wait, these games are like, they're enhanced or whatever to use the Wii U gamepad a bit, but they're not enough to make me go back and get excited about it. And that's the problem where I think we're coming up again with the Mario. If Mario is coming out, it's a different conversation. Is that for me, I pre-ordered it last night and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. I want to hear what Tim has to say. I want to know more of the information as we get it, all these different things. And the conversation for me is I mentioned it last night on the live stream, right? I was like, well, am I being a hypocrite? Because with the Wii U, I was like, there's not a chance in hell of me pre-ordering this thing or buying the system until something great comes out. And I didn't even buy it technically. Nintendo sent it to me when Mario Kart came out because I'm such a huge Mario Kart fan. And so, looking at the Switch, I was like, the Wii U's launch library had nothing for me, and then no promise except for Kart and Smash way down the line, right? And so to look at the Switch now, I'm like, this is a bad launch lineup. I'm not happy with the prices on controllers, blah, blah, blah. But I do want to play Zelda. And a month later, I do want to play Mario Kart on the go. When I do want Mario Kart on the plane, that's awesome. And then in the fall, I'm definitely going to want that Mario game. So it's like, I don't know where I'm coming down on if I want to buy it right away or if I want to wait, but I'm probably buying it, I would assume, but then I haven't come to grips with if that's the right choice yet for me, personally.
It's just, the reason that I don't really want to keep it, and the reason why my pre-order I got for someone else, because I really don't want it, is like, what I know is going to happen, because PS4, I mean, there were people that were comparing, like, this is what's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One over the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, even in the launch window for Switch is fucking brutal, dude. Like,
Horizon's right before Zelda.
Dude, it's like, if someone can link to it or something, I think someone probably found it or whatever. It's like, why are they launching it in March? Why are they even launching it?
Yeah.
It's not ready. It's clearly not ready. The games aren't ready. And I don't understand why getting it out in this window, the spring is like the new fall. Like, March is brutal, man. I mean, like, they're gonna get pummeled around. The Switch, I think, will sell very well initially, just like the Wii U did, and then fall off a cliff. Because just like the Wii U did, because there's nothing to play. And that's my concern about getting it. And that's my major concern about getting is I'm like, this is a device that's very compelling to me. And I want to love this device. And there's a lot of interesting things. Yet, I know that between Zelda and Mario, I'm not going to play anything. If they had something, they would have showed it. And I know what people were saying, like, well, they're waiting for E3. And I'm like, E3 is 3 months after the unit comes out. And
it's so hard to have an honest discussion about video games, I feel. You and I talk about this all the time. Even right now, there's some kid who just went by in the chat who wasn't a sub, who was like, oh my god, so much whining. And it's like, no, it's discussing and talking about this. And for me, it's what you always say, that we can like video games and enjoy video games and critique things and not mean we hate it. And like, the people were coming out to be apologists last night. When I put up that screenshot of all the prices of like, are you kidding me that the controllers cost this much? Somebody responded to that tweet, video game has always been an expensive hobby. And I was like, what is that? Why is that your response to this machine that, again, not that I care about the power, is less powerful than what's out now, but costs more than these, you know what I mean? Like, are you gonna try to tell me the Amiibo sensor and the Ice Cube sensor is what's jacking, because I don't fucking need that or want that.
No one wants that.
Switch, I saw fucking Dan Reichert and Jeff Gerstmann doing it at the thing today. I was like, oh man, that is like, I can see us getting drunk maybe and doing it on a live stream once and then never touching it again. I don't want any of that.
I mean, I'm so down on it in my mind that like I have an opportunity to go play it. And I'm like, I don't really want to anymore. Like, it's just like you guys, like, this is so fucking half-baked. Not necessarily the console itself, but like, what, you're just setting it out, you're setting out to die.
Yeah. That's the thing.
And it's so frustrating. It's like even waiting until September, October, wait for some games to come. There's no reason to launch it then, with the exception. It's almost like Zelda's forcing their hands. This is a weird kind of situation because Zelda's been ready on Wii U for a long time.
Yeah.
That's clear. That's clear. And people on Wii that have Wii U's are getting fucked left, right, and center by Nintendo kind of playing games with this game. And so they have to kind of meet in the middle. And I really do think Switch is only coming out at the time it is because of Zelda. Like I don't. You look
Correct
at
me
that
if I'm wrong. Isn't that the fiscal year? Aren't we getting close to fiscal year?
Well, fiscal year will be March to March, depending on it could be Nintendo. I don't know Nintendo's fiscal year personally, but it's just a strange thing. Nintendo apologists, because I used to be one, are, and I was one for a long time.
I mean, I was a Sega one. Don't get me wrong. I understand what you're talking about.
Nintendo apologists are amongst the worst apologists there are, but they're shrinking in number because Nintendo can't even keep people like me on board. And for people that have known me for a long time, know that's unbelievable. You know?
Yeah.
I was practically sniffing Mario's farts as a child. Okay? Is that all right with everyone if I say that?
Nick, is that all right with you if he says that?
Yeah, that's acceptable.
Nick, can you say butthole for me?
Butthole.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I was desperate for them to speak to me, but like the apologists coming out and defending anything that happened last night, it's just hilarious. Like we all saw it. We all saw what happened. I'm not saying the device is bad. I'm not saying Zelda's gonna be fucking. Everyone's like, Zelda's gonna be better than Horizon, and I'm like, yeah, it probably will be. I never said it wouldn't be. I don't care. I didn't fucking make Horizon. I don't care.
Herman crying one too.
But there needs to be more, and so that's my major concern. Is like, I'll just get it when Mario comes out. These things are gonna be on the shelf.
Yeah,
It's not like these things are gonna be scarce. This is a massive delusion. No matter how appreciably they try to go down the usual Nintendo artificial scarcity route. These things will be on the shelf by the time Mario comes around. There's no doubt about it.
100%, yeah.
And so I could just go pick up one then. Because I just don't...
assume there'll be a Mario bundle, right? At a lower cost or the same cost, I guess. You just eat the cost of the game when we get to that point.
It's just, I'm concerned.
Do you think there will be?
Yes, I do. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm concerned because...
It looks like they've learned nothing. This looks like the mistakes of the Wii U again.
Nope.
And that's the whole thing where like, oh, well, E3 will have something. It's like... Dude, fuck E3. This was your chance. You owned the day. You owned the news cycle. You owned everyone's attention. This was your chance to get out there and be like, guess what? This is it. You could have come to E3, done your direct, which I'm assuming you'll do again, done the direct and just had it been updates on those games. Here's the looks at those games. You know what I mean? What's the fucking No More Heroes game that we got a really awkward translation in it? Show me that game at E3. I don't fucking care. That's fine. But give me a reason to think like I believe in you and you've learned from your mistakes, because this does not look like you've learned anything.
Well, folks were asking like, well, what did you want? I didn't really know the answer at the time because I was like, well, I want Nintendo to show me what they got, you know, and that's a nebulous kind of thing. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, well, as we discussed, it's like what they should have done is had games prepared from first and second party that were extraordinary, and they come out and be like, in March you get Zelda, in May you get this, in August you get this, in November you get this, February next year you get this, like. Punch, because the Wii U's major thing was like, well, there were actually a lot of first-party games on it, but not a lot of consequence. And you have to make people want the machine for the long term, because a lot of people's concern with the Switch right now is like they're spending $300 plus the cost of the game, plus they want to control whatever for a Zelda machine. And this reminds me that I'm back in college again in 2006, where the conundrum for me is like, do I play Twilight Princess on the GameCube, or do I play Twilight Princess on the Wii?
Yeah.
And it's like, but why? I don't, but the Wii was way more compelling than the Switch at the time. Way more compelling. And that was ubiquitous. Everyone wanted the Wii. Everyone wanted the Wii. We all know how that went. They sold 100 million units.
Yeah.
Making it the second, actually the top selling console by a mile, and Nintendo was ever released. And the second best, or third best, depending on how you judge Game Boy, piece of hardware that they've ever released, behind only DS. So, they're in a tight spot, and what's clear to me is there are a few things. Patrick Klepek was saying some really insightful things, a few other people being like, well, they clearly have no third-party relationships.
Yeah.
Third parties, not interested at all. Ubisoft is bringing over Rayman Legends, which is 3.5 years old. Square Enix is giving you I Am Setsuna, quick port job from a studio that needs a little bit of time before they get into their next project. We're getting Steep, which is a random game to bring to the console that's going to sell probably 2 copies. It doesn't make sense.
Chris Kohler tweeted last night, going off the info in this presentation, Nintendo has not convinced developers to support Switch in any serious capacity. The implication is that the implication is that they've been able to get third parties to commit to a couple of games each as a trial run. Scary stuff. I think that's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, and this is the chicken and the egg I talked about in Colin was
100%.
right original, where I was like, well, third party, they need third party games to succeed. They do.
Yeah.
Whether they're exclusive or not, they need them. The whole Nintendo machines play Nintendo games thing is wrong. The Wii U is an abject failure playing only Nintendo games. You need more than that. The 3DS has been successful largely because of its first party output, or its third party output rather. Square Enix games on there, Atlas games on there. I mean, there's a lot of games on there that people really enjoy and love, and the 3DS had thrived. Meanwhile, the port of Ocarina of Time wasn't really, pushing the 3DS into the wild.
This is the exact same thing we always talk about with Vita that's going to happen. Here's FIFA, everybody, and nobody's going to want to play FIFA there. Here's Steep, nobody's going to play Steep there. Here's a bunch of games we've released on other platforms that you've already played or weren't interested on those platforms, so you're not going to play them here. So those third parties are going to look at, first off, the sales of the Switch, and then look at the sales of their games on the Switch and go, why the fuck would we do this? Nobody's interested in this. It's exactly what happened with EA and Madden on Vita. Mm-hmm. Hey, we put out last year's Madden on Vita, and nobody liked it. So we didn't sell any copies. Well, no, you put out a shitty version on Vita. Nobody wanted it. Put out a new Madden, a new thing, a new Rayman, a new thing, and an exclusive, a reason to get excited for this version of the game. Then you sell copies. Then you keep going.
It's a bad omen, man. Like, what's going on here? To have Patrick Soderlund all the way over from Redwood City to Tokyo to talk about FIFA. That's what you got out of EA, FIFA? Mm-hmm. Electronic Arts, publisher of dozens of games a year, you got FIFA. Big, huge game. Yeah. But that's all you have from them? You get these bizarre kind of ports from Ubisoft because you burned the shit out of them during the Wii U era. Well, let's not forget that the Rayman, or was Rayman Legends or something, or one of those games was delayed so they could get it to other consoles and launch them all at the same time because the Wii U was bombing.
Yeah.
The fact that they even got on board again is miraculous. It's scary, man. Like, I didn't realize it was this bad. I guess that's what I'm saying is that I was super optimistic and super happy, and I really believed and thought 100% Nintendo's gonna nail this thing.
I did too.
I really did. I thought that I wasn't worried about it. I was just like, clearly.
Remember, the only thing I was like, I'm worried about trophy achievement system, and it turned out that was the least of my concerns.
Yeah, exactly, and that's unclear whether that exists either.
I think it's pretty clear it doesn't.
Which is
seeing as how you need a fucking app to talk to each other.
That's unbelievable too. Remember in 2002 and 2003, I was in my dorm room as a freshman talking over a headset, playing Rainbow Six 3 on my original Xbox.
Now your smart device does all
now
that. Now
you need an iPhone in order to talk on this. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's so strange how and what it showed me was not that the Switch is a bad device, not that there's not going to be good games on it, because there will be. What it showed me, Greg, was that it's bad over there. Like, it's not good. These guys are in trouble with this device. I'm not saying they're in trouble overall. They have all this valuable IP. The second they put Mario on PS4, it's going to sell 10 million copies.
I know, right?
So
that's actually the thing. I want to have a conversation on, I don't know, one of our shows eventually of if it's okay. We talked about how we wouldn't buy stock in Sony, right? Because we talk so much. We have a PlayStation podcast. Can I buy Nintendo stock? Because if it keeps going down, I want to buy it for the inevitable day they publish all their shit and it all goes back up.
We have never been closer than right now to getting those games on PlayStation and Xbox. Like, this is untenable. They can't. Remember the Doomsday kind of shit, even at the end of the Wii era when everyone's like, just do it, and everyone's like, you're crazy, it's never gonna happen. I'm like, it might. Like the second that becomes a compelling reason for them, I mean, I don't want to say the Switch is DOA, there's no way to know that. The Switch is half-baked and the Switch is not ready. And that's just the thing. It's the games aren't ready.
Games aren't ready. The system I still think is cool. Somebody tweeted today on my feed of like how this is the first time they've ever had they were putting had sexual urges for Nintendo hardware. That this is like a sexy piece of tech from Nintendo. And that I totally agree with. Like, I think the Switch looks awesome. I'm excited to hold it and play it and see what it's like.
Yeah, but what am I going to play on it?
I know, that's the thing. And that's the big conundrum to come back to of like, is it worth getting day one? But it's not, is it worth getting day one for Zelda is my question. But then, if I'm ready for Mario Kart and Mario, that's 3 games in the year, and then does that equate out? And how does that
one
work?
of which is an old game, which is
a
bad sign.
I'm not pulling punches.
There's no reason. Virtual Console, for instance, is a very compelling reason to own any Nintendo products.
Yeah.
The access to some of the great libraries of all time, the NES, SNES. I mean, not the full libraries, but a lot of first-party stuff. I mean, this is what Nintendo does best. But it cannot only be that. And for people being like, well, there's rumors of the GameCube games coming back. I'm like, who fucking cares? You need new games. You can plug in your GameCube and play those games. That's a cute thing to do once or twice a year to be like, hey guys, like Wind Waker or Super Mario Sunshine, great games. Resident Evil 4, something from a third party. But you can't just rely only on that. It can't only be a nostalgia machine. Yet they're in this catch-22 where they also have to rely on people's nostalgia to sell these machines, but it's failing. You know, like. I am legitimately concerned for the health of Nintendo in terms of being a hardware manufacturer, because I really do think, as I've said many times now, an independent and thriving Nintendo is actually really good for the industry because they are different. But they've differentiated themselves right out of the game. You know, like the price of I'm not so worried about the price, but it is an interesting thought to say like you can get a PS4 right now for $270 with a game. You know. By the way, I pulled these up before I forget, because people were talking about how the Zelda sales. The best-selling Zelda game of all time is Twilight Princess at 8.5 million. So the best-selling Zelda game sold about as many units as Uncharted 4 did. Going from there, Ocarina of Time sold 7.5 million units. The original Zelda sold 6.5 million units. Games that seemed to be part of the zeitgeist at the time, like that, like A Link Between Worlds, sold fewer than 3 million units. So I'm just putting things in the context for people that Zelda is big to us because we love Zelda. We grew up with Zelda. I was a massive Zelda fanboy.
Zelda's iconic to video game fans.
Right, but Zelda is not iconic to the people you need to get these consoles.
Maybe if
off
they would
the
have
shelf.
ever gotten that Zelda Netflix show going, you know what I mean? Maybe if Nintendo would have been able to get on some of that stuff. Nick, do me a favor, pull up kick us over to the link that's everything we know. This is the Polygon, everything Polygon knows. Just a quick, I like they did a little quick wrap up here that I appreciate in terms of everything condensed here. And this is from a link or Frank over at Polygon. Scrolling through it, what do we see here? It's going to launch March 3rd. We knew that. $299, great. Supports 3 different gameplay modes. I think we all knew that from the commercial, but still interesting. Tim, let me bring up Tim's stuff over here real quick. I want to give, as we get into definitely the gameplay modes, what Tim was talking about in terms of what he liked and what he didn't like. So let's go here now.
By the way, real quick, if I may interject. I would say that I'm more disappointed than any of us about this, because I think Tim's a Nintendo, not a lapsed Nintendo fan, right? You're a casual Nintendo fan or whatever. You like your GameCube and your N64 and all that kind of stuff. It's great. I really put all my cards on the table with this and was like, I believe again. You know?
Yeah.
I really believe. And it's just, I don't think people can understand the amount of disappointment I feel. Like, I really do. Like, Nintendo is so important to me and to my development as a kid, to my development in this industry. I got my start writing about Nintendo in this industry as a teenager. And my first console was an NES. My favorite library is an NES library. My favorite console is the NES. And I really wanted this. I don't want that to be lost on people. I wanted this so bad, man. I really thought that they were gonna get me back. And there's like a profound sense of sadness almost in me like that. I usually don't really care. Like if a video game's bad, I'm like, eh.
Sure, but this seemed like Nintendo was turning it around.
Yeah.
A company you cared about and have loved forever was turning it around. And that's why, like, the screen caps, I don't know if you've had time to see them if they've been sending them to you in your feed, the screen caps of Tim's reaction video, because we did our live reaction here, he filmed his reaction there, we both put them up on YouTube, and just his, like, fucking getting punched in the face over and over and over again, not to mention having to hang out with Kevin. Terrible. Tim's report.
It's hurtful.
From the Nintendo event. I've played a lot of Nintendo Switch with every variation of control. It has a few major pros and many minor flaws. Pro controller is choice. Joy grip is fine. Tablet mode is fine. Joy-Con only is a joke. The shoulder buttons are tiny. I'm gonna do 90% of portable playing with the kickstand and a Pro controller. That setup is unreal. Flights are about to be awesome. Played almost every game they had. Played almost every game they had at the event. Didn't play a single one I didn't have at least fun with. ARMS was way better than it has any right to be, and Snipper Clip is a sleeper hit. The co-op puzzle game, excellent gameplay. Super Bomberman R is multiplayer perfection. It is the definition of a one more match and all of a sudden it's 6 a.m. game. Mario Kart is Mario Kart 8 but better. Sold. Battle mode is hella fun, in all caps. Lots of new content. Just as polished as always. It's super cool seeing Ultra Street Fighter 2 in both classic and HD. I beat some guy. He wasn't very good. Justin Wong was here too. I didn't beat him. The Tetris game I can never pronounce. Puyo Puyo?
Puyo Puyo.
Puyo Puyo is insanity. Game over, Greggy is gonna love it. That's coming out on everything though. I don't know if I'll ever play it on Switch.
Puyo Puyo, because everyone's like, Puyo Puyo Tetris has never been released here. And I'm like, that's true. It's going to be on PS4 before Switch even comes out. So it's, again, another late game.
Zelda is awesome, duh. And then he says tons of Let's Plays will go live this weekend on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. So exciting stuff from Tim. Look forward to that as we go. This Polygon article, sorry, I was going through. It's what we've talked about here. I'm trying to see if we've missed anything. Super Mario Odyssey we glossed over. I think that looks awesome. I'm very, very excited for that. I love a good Mario game, and that looks.
I gotta be honest. I mean, this is, and again, it's not trying to be negative, but like, I got strange vibes from that game. At the same time, like, why is Mario standing next to a human being?
That's the one weird jarring thing,
dude.
Sure.
It's just, I can't wait to play because I'm sure the gameplay is gonna be fantastic. But I'm like, this is weird. Like, I'm sorry, this is not. It's a little weird. I'm not. I mean, when I saw Super Mario Galaxy for the first time, I was like through the fucking roof. Yeah. You know, I'm excited about this, but
you didn't mind him hanging out with a bunch of fucking stars.
It's just,
but he sees a guy in a business suit, and that's a problem.
Well, Rosalina is,
Woo!
She's all right. You know? But it was just jarring. Like someone put a screenshot up of that cat, and I'm like, this is weird.
Well, you see the one. I like the guy who put it up. I didn't even think. I hate it when I see a tweet where I'm like, I should have thought of that. Where they put up the tweet of that Simpsons Halloween or Treehouse of Horror special, where it's the 3D Homer in the real world, and it looks so jarringly like that Mario. Where it's like, ooh, you're right, that does fucking look like that.
It's just strange, but I'm sure it's gonna be great, and I'm super excited about that. And that's a system seller to me. A 3D Mario game is a system seller to me. 100%. Zelda would be a system seller to me, except for it's the GameCube Wii transition all over again, and so why? Like I just don't know. I'll just play it on Wii U. It's fine.
Here's the thing. If we're putting all the cards on the table, I make a lot of jokes. You make a lot of jokes, but I'll just speak for myself. I make a lot of jokes, and if tomorrow Nintendo, I'm sorry, yeah, well, put Nintendo. No, we're just going to Sony and Microsoft come out and they're like, hey, we're done. We're turning off PSN and Xbox Live. No more. We're done. I'd be like, holy shit, that fucking sucks, my trophies, blah, 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 blah. Then I'd be like, all right, cool, I'll start playing PC games. I'll get my controller and I'll hook it up and I'll be fine, blah, 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 blah. If tomorrow Steam or PC gaming, Xbox and PlayStation were like, we're done, I would then take my shotgun and shoot my Wii U and then shoot myself. I fucking hate the Wii U. Every time I have to use a Wii U, I'm like, I fucking want to break this controller. Why is it load so slow? What the fuck is going on? Why is it like this? So like, the
Wii U was really bad.
I do not want to turn on. It felt so good when we finished. We did when we went to do Let's Play Live, and we did the Nintendo World Championship Mario Kart over there, Tim and I. And when I came back home, I took the Wii and I was just like, threw in the closet. I'm like, I don't need to plug you back in. I'm never gonna turn you back on. I hate you. And that was so. Every morning now, I get to see it there underneath my laundry. All these cords coming out of it, just like help me. And I'm like, no, you're dead to me, and I don't have to. I fucking hate you.
Yeah,
I hate you.
Yeah. The Wii U is Wii U is absolute trash.
So like, if I'm gonna eventually buy, if I'm there for Mario Kart and I'm there for fucking the Mario Odyssey, then why not just fucking buy it and play Zelda on to be red? I don't. And maybe I in the deal I lose $60. Maybe by the time Mario comes out, it is a bundle, and I could have gotten that $60 game for free or whatever. But fuck you.
I mean, you're not hurting for $60. And the situation is, it's just the Wii U is bad. I mean, the Wii U is fucking really bad. It's just any way you slice that thing. It's just
I fucking
hate it too. I remember because we used to use it for Let's Plays and just to play games on it. I'm like, the
gamepad isn't sunk anymore. I don't know why it doesn't work. We hit the fucking spades and diamonds to do it.
Without failure, dude. Without fail, it would always fuck with us.
Oh, you want to play this game? Great. Oh, I noticed the sensor bar isn't. Why the fuck do you need it? We're not playing a motion control game. God, I hate you, Wii U.
So the question I have here is this.
Yeah.
And actually, go for a second. I'm gonna.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna keep running through Polygon's article. Nick, you don't feel like you have to pull it up if you don't want to. Of course, we haven't really touched on it. Switch games are $60. Switch has up to 6 hours of battery life, but that's gonna be weird, right? Because I want to read this part. The Switch can hook up to a TV, but it can also be played on the go. No shit, Allegra. When it's not plugged in, players can expect between 2.5 and 6 hours of gameplay at the highest brightness setting. Games like Breath of the Wild can run for about 3 hours on battery alone before needing a charge. That's what we were talking about last night. All that is dev math. How long is that really? Okay, I'm getting about 3 hours of Breath of the Wild, so 2.5 hours is about 3 hours. And is the brightness all the way dialed down? What the hell's going on? Don't get me wrong. I don't really care. That's fine. I made a joke about but I want to play Mario Kart on flights. Somebody last night in the Twitch chat was like, better be a short flight. Well, it's got power plugs on Virgin America and everywhere else and everything else. And not to mention that maybe I'm not playing straight for those hours. I would, don't get me wrong, love a big battery. Of course, my PSP, I bought that extended battery for. I was a big fan of that. But I'm going to live on that one.
Okay.
Multi-touch screen. Let me just run through this. Multi-touch screen. Games are locked at a lower resolution. Unlocked online features come at a price. We haven't talked about that. the fact that this new online service they're going to charge you for.
And it's not even going to be ready to go, and it's not going to be ready to go in all regions. And
It's not going to be ready to go until fall.
Just a great sign that it's not ready. The console should be launched in the fall with Mario.
Yeah.
Just abort the mission. Release Zelda only on Wii U, and then push Zelda on Switch to the fall.
You will get NES and SNES games for free, one a month, but at the end of the month, they're gone. You have to pay for them.
And SNES games will have online functionality, which is very interesting.
Of course, if you have to subscribe to the service. You have to subscribe to the service to use the online lobby and voice chat app. Again, app. This is not there.
This is it. Couldn't you thought that it couldn't get any more Nintendo than the Wii U, and then it suddenly became more Nintendo, and it's an unbelievable kind of thing that we witnessed.
It's
Not
something, all right.
Not even 24 hours ago.
It's region free. We didn't talk about that today. There's a share button. Great. I will use that actually. Yeah. Okay. What do you got, Colin? You were building up to something.
If you guys go to my Twitter account, I have requested feedback because I want to do the third episode of Colin Was Right about the Switch again. But the first episode was also about the Switch. So I am going to go with the vote. The vote's open for an hour. You can go vote. Tell me yes or no. If it's yes, I will make the next episode of Colin Was Right all about Switch and the reveal and how we feel about it. It'll probably be a very long episode too. If you guys vote no, that's fine. I'll do something else. I have like 17 other ideas, including one I had really already started working on. So you tell me, and I will make it so one way or the other. Okay. Because I have a lot to say, and I think we can really make a good video out of it. But
I voted yes.
But I also don't want to be redundant because the third episode, 2 of them have already been about the same thing. So I don't,
Sure.
But I can use the word switch expectations again, which I know people have been excited about.
Maybe you could switch your opinion.
Like,
how many times did anyone do a count on how many times the word switch was said last night? Because they said it every time they could. Instead of let's hand it over to the other guy, let's switch to this guy.
Yeah. They gotta do what they gotta do.
Fuck yeah, you do. That's why you call it the switch. Built-in joke.
So thank you for your feedback. We appreciate you.
If you want to throw up the specs, I think I put it in there. Nintendo, this is Polygon again. This is Submit though. Nintendo Switch has 32 gigabytes of storage, a 720p touchscreen. Just if you scroll down, Nick, we got little diagrams on where everything's going, which I like. You see a little game card popping in there. Hooray! Brightness sensors. Why not? All right, great. I don't think there's anything super interesting in there though, in terms of that we haven't already talked about. No. Yeah, it's possible to expand the storage with micro SD HD and micro SD XC. Slot behind the kickstand for the Switch unit.
It's nice that they're not doing a proprietary cord for the power, though.
Yeah.
That's nice.
No, yeah, they're doing some stuff really well. Again, the device seems awesome. The device I like a lot. It's just the game library and where they're going with it that it's like, what? And not to mention what's going on with this fucking online shit and why are you doing any of it this way? What are you doing?
It's not sounding good, and that's why I really need to get down and this Colin Was Right is going to require some research because I really do need to reach out to our friends at Golan Harris and Nintendo to get some answers because there's some things that are still unknown that I'm just like, I really, for as Nintendo is,
yeah,
I refuse to really believe that you have to use a phone to talk to someone. I just don't believe that that's possible.
Well, it's any smart device, not just a phone.
Well, whatever it is, a tablet, whatever it is. I refuse to believe that you can't natively do that on a device when both the PS2 with the modem and the Xbox let you do voice chat. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
You know, that is so insane. Those devices are 15 years old. People were talking to each other on SOCOM, you know?
Maybe
people were talking to each other in Halo 2.
People, it wasn't great. They couldn't do it that way, so they figured they would go and they would do that, you know? Now, Sunky Frank says, I'm pretty sure the app is a console app you download. Well, Sunky Frank, again, their messaging makes it sound very much like that is not the case, as they say to your smart device, which they don't include the Switch ever in. But we'll see. I'm sure all sorts of stuff's happening, but I don't think it's good on that front, ladies and gentlemen. And then, yeah, I briefly touched on this, but I want to pull it up. IGN.com over there, a name I don't recognize and can't pronounce, so I won't.
What is it? Let me see it.
Takuya Watanabe. I don't have to do it slow and do it.
That might be
so
like an
much, so
IGN
long.
Japan person.
Yeah. Splatoon 2 feels improved, but more of the same. I had the chance to play Splatoon 2 at the Nintendo Switch presentation in 2017, held at Tokyo Big Sight, a sequel to the hit Wii U game. It felt like a fresh and more intense version of the Splatoon while presenting the feel. So it is different. First, I played the first two. I'm hearing conflicting reports then. This is a full-blown preview. I thought this was a news story. All right, this is just a preview. Splatoon 2, maybe not. Maybe there's a full-blown thing. Seems like it might be.
They
That's
really
the
did miss
Switch.
an opportunity to call it Splatoon with the 2. I agree with people that are saying that.
Yeah. That's their biggest mistake from last night.
I mean, that was top 10 mistakes from last night. So yeah, I don't know. It's a sobering kind of thing for me. The whole situation. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm sad about it. I really am. I'm bummed. Like, I really am.
I wanted to be super excited about this.
Dude, I was. I really believed, and I always criticize people in the gaming industry for being excited about literally anything because they are. And I get criticized all the time, like, why aren't you more excited? I'm like, because I don't like everything that's put in front of my fucking face. But this was one of those things where I'm like, they can't miss. This thing really is going to be great,
dunk.
And just goes to show you, I should continue to be as skeptical about everything as I have been for years, because we are just going to continue to get disappointed when we set our expectations too high. And it was stupid of me to ever believe that Nintendo could deliver ever again. So, that's my fault. That's my fault. No one told me to do that.
Of course, you can be part of the conversation by being in the chat and tipping us. Tips are broken, though. Are broken. So I'm going to read through the subs real quick, because a lot of subs are leaving messages about the Switch, but I'll read every sub. So I'm going to read names and I'll read messages from them. Mageria, Skylar Peterson, 1CEEC1, Tor 54, J Andrew 485, Rat MVP, Tegato 61. Can we just have the NX? Why does Nintendo have to forsake me? Woof. Chef Maison, love you guys. Anchor Rancho, Governor 912, Jex 10, Tomahawk 84, Aunt Dabs 24, Novo 616, Gwen Stacy Lives, happy birthday Uncle Nicky, nice balloons bro, hey guys. Louis 12, Mr. Chi-Chi 23, Lone Wolf 903, Gomer 82, Sir Panda's worth it 2. Live stream last night was great. Defeated Tim, facial expressions were the best. I felt so bad for him. Agent Trav, ass to ass. R Winter 91. ASEC is, congratulations on 2 years, and Switch marketing / messaging was just plain terrible. Joby Mad Hunter, Duds 3800, F Solo 3, Fred 2013, Javi 93 PR. If they would have delayed Switch to November, it would have been an amazing launch. All the games would have been released at launch, and the holiday season would have been been in their favor. I went from extreme hype to no buy as of now. Now, the one thing he's taking for granted there is he says all the games would have been released at launch. Just because they said Mario was coming in holiday doesn't really mean Mario is coming in holiday.
Yep.
This is the thing we have to stress to folks all the time. Just because a company says this is when they're releasing it does not mean, great, can't wait to play that on Christmas. No, there's a great chance that game will not come out. Do you remember the Wii U and the launch window they had that stretched into the next February? Trust me, just because, and I'm not saying Nintendo, I'm saying all video game people, delays happen all the fucking time. Just if they would have said, we'll put it out in November, some of these games wouldn't have been ready. So, great idea in a perfect world, but we'll see.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Erin too, because I told you about it, she just randomly texted me last night because she was catching, she's just very new to games. She plays her PS4 and Vita or whatever, but very new, doesn't know really anything about games, but her first thought of the Mario game, she was like, this game looks old. And I'm like, huh. Well, it does, but we have expectations. I mean, it was clearly a Wii U game. And we have certain expectations, but I'm like, that to me gave me just a small glimpse into what a casual gamer or a person outside looks at these things at. So I thought that was an interesting and very salient piece of information that she gave me unintentionally. And I will also say that I agree with you. I think that, if they had a release date, they would have announced it. And because that game is so important. So to just say later this year or fall of this year is... not a good move.
I mean, don't hold your breath is all I'm saying. Hatpocalypse subscribed. Xenophonic. I don't have a Nintendo console right now, so pre-order it as there's a bit more value to me. That conference was an embarrassment, though. I can only hope good sales of systems bring third parties. Don't hold your breath.
I mean, if good sales... See, this is the problem. You have to have them from the beginning, because if they bring third parties and you want immediate results, all you're going to get are old ports. If you want them to make endemic games for your console, it's going to take years for them to do that, and the Switch will be dead by then. That's why it's already, you know, what you're saying with Kohler, it's already very bad.
And this is the same way if you look at PSP. Remember, PSP came out. There was a launch lineup that had third parties. Then it kind of fell away. Everybody's like, the PSP's dead. And Sony did that thing I always talk about where they went to developers and they're like, we still believe in this. We need to get help. We need you on board. And that's when they got Assassin's Creed. That's when they started seeing these big games come back. But it was like they had a road show they had to go on and do it. It took years. It wasn't like, great, all right, everybody's back on board. Now we're gone. If you wanted something awesome from Ubisoft at launch, you needed to talk to them 2 years ago, if not more.
And they were burned. I mean, Ubisoft specifically clearly doesn't want to make a new game. Like, they made Zombie U, and they ended up releasing it on PS4 and Xbox One last year. But they clearly don't want. They clearly didn't see results, right? Yeah. And that's, you have to understand where they're coming from. Like, I really feel like when you look at it from the outside, they gave Nintendo the benefit of the doubt. I'm not saying just Ubisoft, but a lot of the publishers gave them the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again. Call of Duty was on Wii. All these, different people forget. Call of Duty actually sold pretty respectably on Wii too. But by the time Wii U came around, they were all gone. Well, why? Because these companies aren't in it to make you feel good. They want to make money. They want to make lots of money, and they're going to go where the money is. Are they going to go with the console that sold 54 million units in three years and a few months? Or are they going to go with the console that sold like 30 million units in that same amount of time? Or are they going to go with the console that won't even reach 30 million units? Period. And you can't blame them. If I worked at a publisher and I read the tea leaves, especially with how some of them were burned by Xbox One, especially EA, you can understand that trepidation of them being like, we have to go with the sure thing. Like, we have to work with the partners that are making us money, and we are making money from Sony, and we are making money from Microsoft, and we make nothing from Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. There's no sense investing millions of dollars to make an exclusive that's going to move 100,000 units. Spookies T. Coon says, I love you, Nick. I hanging out with those boys. I hack 215, XO Armstrong, Hardboiled, Smitty J22, Meg 909, Nerd Hollow. If the Switch releases March with Zelda or October with Zelda, Kart, and Mario, why wait to buy? In either case, it's the same game. Buying in March spaces things out. But the argument is that I'm rewarding them for a bad business decision instead of voting with my wallet. Of like, well, why do you think you can just put this out? It's similar to Sony when they were like, PS3 is going to be $600 and you'll buy it. Oh, really? Well, fuck you. Maybe I won't. You know what I mean? It's Major Panda. Blaze173, Zero Wilder 0. Thanks for the great content. Kinda. Funny. Smoke La. Rage Cage 83. Evan 0799. JJ Jones 1193. Elusive Wallaby. Project Octopath Traveler. Just subscribe. The Caleb.
Get away from me!
Just give the reins to Nintendo of America already. Nintendo of Japan has B. What's B mean? Has B. They're the B team?
I don't know.
All right. Has bitch. Kairoka 22. Kiss Han S. Thanks for the commentary, boys. Kieslerstein. Tommy Turbo HS. Y Skitch. Jack Bauer's Ghost. I just want to play Mario and Zelda on the PS4/5. We're getting closer. Weasel Raider 08. Golanoki 25. Kumail H. Heart. Taco Boy 280. TJV Man. Glad to be here, but oh god, this is bad. It is a bad day. Pebble 14, The Dark Knight Light. Oh, that's funny. Sancho West, 21 months. Thank you, fellas, for the Nintendo Switch coverage. Firm handshakes all around. Happy birthday, Big Papa Nick. Here we go. We're starting more stuff. Project Acel, TRANMU, Spacetime Dave. Do we know if our virtual console games will carry over to the Switch? I don't want to have to buy them again. I've not heard anything on that. Hopefully somebody at the event today says something, but yeah, who the hell knows. Zeta Siren, Biggs JM, Phoenix 8387. Switch and Nintendo games look great. Third-party support just doesn't appear to be there. Correct. Doom Patrol 78, love to KF. M. Dryberg, Idiom, Flash, Grant HL. I'm with Colin. Nintendo really let me down yesterday, and that's where we've caught up to tips now, and we'll keep going.
I am DEGEL, I don't know exactly how to say it. In the chat, asked an interesting question that I think has an obvious answer, but it says, Colin, which game will sell better, The Legend of Zelda or Horizon Zero Dawn? You assume Zelda will sell better than Horizon. Horizon's good for millions of copies. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I would say Horizon nets 5, 6, 7 million copies. Because that game is going to be huge.
I think it'll be down. I think it'll be to the lower end of your spectrum. 7 sounds crazy. Yeah.
I don't think it sounds crazy at all. People like Sony's going to push the shit out of this game. If it's as good as
what
we expect it's going to be
on PS3.
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. Uncharted, as we said, Uncharted 4 sold 8.5 million.
Right, but I mean, I feel like that's been the build of what. Like, it's similar where like Uncharted 1 was great, but Uncharted 2 was the one that started getting all the praise because people knew what Uncharted was. I feel like this is Horizon. We're pushing a new thing. We're getting a new ball going.
I think we're gonna have to see because the reason I'm so bullish about Horizon, and I'm way more bullish about Zelda, but the let's say 5 million units. Is because they really kind of let the cat out of the bag a long time ago by saying that they look at this as the next great marketing opportunity and clearly are looking at this as the next big thing for them. And so with an install base as big as it is, you look at Gran Turismo 5 sales on PS3 with a much smaller install base actually selling about 10 million units at the time that the game came out. PS3 is now more like 80 million. It's not unbelievable to me that it would be like 5 or 6 million copies of Horizon sold when all the dust settles. But let's say 4 or 5 million units sold. I think Zelda has to beat that, but because I think on Wii U it's going to sell a few million copies. Remember that the install base of Wii U is small, but the attach rate of some of these big first-party games on Wii U is actually like 1 in every 2 consoles sold, which is incredible. We make fun of Wii U, and we should because it's a bad console, but the people that are there do buy games, and a game like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart 8 basically sold half as many as consoles are in the wild. So if you assume that happens even to a third of that, so let's say a few million copies on Wii U or 2 million, 2.5 million copies on Wii U, and then everyone that buys a Switch. So you have to assume that the Zelda will outsell Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay. I mean, that's my
I would
theory.
think so, yeah.
So, but Horizon's gonna be very big. And
I hope so. And I hope it's good. That's more than anything.
And yeah, I'm usually not very bullish about first-party sales for PlayStation. I was super shocked when I saw Uncharted 4's numbers. I thought it was maybe half that many. And when you look at games like Killzone, you look at it as like a million and a half maybe, which I'm sure they're perfectly happy with. But Horizon specifically, along with I think God of War later on, are going to be big sellers. And obviously The Last of Us as well.
Oh yeah.
People are hungry. They're hungry. They're really hungry on PlayStation for these games. And they're going to start coming. That's the other unfortunate thing about Nintendo's timing is that this happens when Sony's finly
in their stride and starting to have their big guns come out. Yep. The investment they've made in exclusives, here you go, and this is where it's going. Let's switch. Out of Nintendo news, run through some quick nerdy stuff. Over at IO9, this actually pertains to the Game Over Greggy show that went live on Patreon yesterday and will be up next week. Jermaine Lucier says, report Disney is negotiating with Carrie Fisher's estate for more Leia. According to BBC Newsnight, the Walt Disney Company is negotiating with Carrie Fisher's estate, quote-unquote, over her continued appearance in the Star Wars franchise. Before you jump to conclusions that Lucasfilm is definitely planning to digitally recreate the late actress for Episode 9, the Newsnight quotes were unspecific beyond the fact that negotiations were taking place. The full quote from Newsnight's reporter, Christy Wark, ahead of the video report on using actors' likenesses after their deaths, came on the January 10th. It reads as follows. Carrie Fisher died less than a fortnight ago, but in the minds of Disney movie moguls and Star Wars fans, she's very much alive. And with what might be regarded as unseemingly haste, Disney is negotiating with the actor's estate over her continued appearance in the franchise. If Disney gets the go-ahead, Carrie Fisher will join Peter Cushing? Cushing's?
Peter Cushing.
Okay. Who last month, 15 years after his death, played a key role in Rogue One as Grand Moff Tarkin. With computers, anything is possible, but is it desirable? While some living actors are contracting over the use of their image when they die, others, like Robin Williams, who killed himself in 2014, explicitly banned the commercial use of their image until 2039. So that'll be interesting to see how that all pans out. We had a discussion on if it is okay, where the lines are and stuff. It'll be on the Game Over Greggy show next week on YouTube. Right now, if you go and get the early Patreon one. Hopping back over to IGN, apparently nobody can figure out, Ben Affleck can't figure out if he's fucking really directing this movie or not, if he's directing the Batman movie. They have this thing here from Jim Vajavova, Stacks. The Batman, Ben Affleck, says he needs a better bat suit if he's also going to direct the film. Earlier this week, actor-filmmaker Ben Affleck seemed to confirm on TV that he will indeed direct the next Batman. Now he's back to hedging, but this time explaining a very specific concern he needs dealt with before he steps on set. Quote, I know what it's like to be in the suit, Affleck told USA Today. We'll have to modify the suit to make it a little bit easier to put on and take off. When you are in it, you can be sweating, crazy, and exhausted. Do your part and walk away. But when you're a director, you can't walk away. You have to be there for everybody. Chief among the challenges of doing Batman will be finding a suit that's more comfortable. Affleck also said, superhero movies get the level of tension that is nothing like any film I've done. You cast the 14th lead in these movies and the internet goes crazy. I understand and embrace that. That's part of the pressure that comes along with doing it. That's why I am not going to do it unless I really feel confident about it. But when that day comes, should that day come, I'm sure that's going to be the most pressure, the most stress I've ever experienced in my professional life. There's no doubt. Are you fucking doing this movie or not, Ben? I'm sick of hearing you going back and forth on it. We all know you're going to end up doing it. Just fucking do it. We need it. Do we need it, Nick?
It's weird that he's hedging.
We don't need it.
What? We don't need it?
We need another Batman movie. We don't need his Batman movie.
No, I mean, I would be perfectly fine if Affleck was just disappeared off the face of the planet from the Batman. From Batman.
That's the thing. I'm like, I love Ben Affleck as a director, and I love him as Batman, but I don't need to see him direct himself in a Batman movie. There's plenty of capable directors out there that could work well with him as a team. So if he feels like, for any reason, he can't do both roles, then just be Batman. It's fun. I love watching him as Batman. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Give Joel Schumacher another crack
Bruce
at it.
Wayne, why are you dressed as Batman?
Final news story of the day is also in the DC Cinematic Universe. It's also from IGN, but this time it's Alex Gil-Yadov writing, saying Green Lantern Corps' Batman Begins writer David Goyer joins. Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are main characters. DC and Warner Brothers are moving full steam ahead with their planned Green Lantern Corps film. Deadline reports that Batman Begins, Man of Steel, and Batman v Superman scribe David Goyer is penning the script, along with Justin Rhodes (parentheses grassroots contract killers). Goyer is also producing the film with DC head Jeff Johns executive producing. Goyer and Johns conceived the story together. Green Lantern Corps is described as lethal weapon in space, and will be an origin story of sorts. It follows both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart and focuses on former Marine sniper Stewart's relationship with Jordan and the Lantern Corps.
Jon Stewart was a sniper?
In this one, yeah. Really. I don't know if he always was. Is he that in Arrow? Was he that in the comics? I don't remember.
I thought he was either.
He's retired now, Jon Stewart.
Oh, you're making the Daily Show reference.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I forget. He's always in the Marine. Yeah, I don't remember if they. I don't think in Arrow they drum up the sniper thing.
I just remember he's ex-military. I just
in the comics, I joined solo. I remember by the time I was reading Green Lantern comics, he got paralyzed and he wasn't paralyzed anymore, and then he was back to being Green Lantern. I never heard him talk about being a sniper.
Yeah.
But also, I'm a full-blown racist, so I don't listen to anything he says. Just kidding. The film doesn't have a director yet, though Mad Max Fury Road director George Miller was linked to the project earlier this year, and there are currently no actors attached to play either of the two leads. Nick, what do you think of this? Lethal weapon in space.
Great. Dude, I love Green Lantern, and it's such a shame that the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern wasn't as good as everyone wanted it to be, because I think that they can make a really cool and compelling movie with the Green Lantern Corps. I really can. Corps, excuse me, not Corps.
Yeah. Now we're saying Jon Stewart isn't in Arrow. You're missing my long-held theory that at the end of Arrow, it's going to be revealed that Dig
is Jon Stewart.
His middle name is Stewart. Stewart Diggle.
That would be amazing.
I mean, like, come on. It's clearly him.
Yeah.
And I know there's been reports where they're like, oh, no, it isn't. It's happened before, where this has been brought up, and they're like, whoa.
I thought you were just referring to a series, like a part of the season that I hadn't seen. Because I only watched like seasons 1 and 2, and I'm like, I guess.
No, Dig is going to end up being Jon Stewart, because it's going to be fucking awesome.
That'd be amazing.
I always said that's what I wanted it to be as a season finale or whatever. And this is early on in Arrow. I mean, he's been around a long time now, and he's got a stupid fucking mask he wears all the time. But he's going to leave, and they're like, I never even know your full name.
What is the goal of that mask that he wears? Because I don't understand. It seems like all it would succeed.
Because finally they were like, wait a second. The Arrow is running around helping people. He's got this hood on, and he runs around with this very identifiable black man we see all the time. That's Dig. He's always with Oliver Queen. Every time there's a photo of Oliver Queen in the paper, he's right behind him.
Yeah.
I wonder if Green Arrow was fucking him.
Jesus.
Anyways, back to this one though. Cool. Let's see what happens. I don't know. The cinematic universe is crazy. The fact that Goyer is writing it again, and it's going to be this comedy is like, all right. I guess Lethal Weapon, we're taking I'm stretching, I guess, that it's going to be a comedy, but that's what you assume it's going to be. It'll be more comedic.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll have comedic elements. And, you can't really make a Green Lantern movie without maybe bringing some level of levity or comedy to it. So, man, I love that idea. But if you're gonna go for gold, man, get Shane Black to write it. Why not?
See, that's the thing is like go nuts with it. And that's if you remember back in the day when they were like, we're gonna make a comedy Green Lantern, we're gonna get Jack Black in there to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fine.
Like, well, that would have been, like Goosebumps in space. Why not?
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do it, but I mean, then
No,
again,
I'm
look
glad
what we
too.
got. Look at what we did get. When they did just do a Green Lantern movie, look what we got.
I always
I wish Jeff Johns was just writing it by himself.
My thing is this. Did you watch the Green Lantern CG show? It
A
was
little
cartoon.
bit.
It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. They can definitely make a good Green Lantern movie. They definitely can. They just need the right team with it.
All right.
And then, of course, it got canceled because everything good that's animated gets canceled.
Of course. Well, would you want
Ultimate
to stick
Spider-Man.
around for 20 seasons and not be great?
Do I want it? I mean,
Let's end them in their prime.
yeah. Well, I mean, after one season, not necessarily the prime. That's still they haven't sprouted hair on their balls yet, let alone inseminated the beast.
Jesus Christ.
Friday.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny morning show each and every weekday here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We come to you with the nerdy news you need to know about at 11 a.m. Then run through that, jump into the chat, answer your questions and comments and concerns. But in between those two segments, I reach into the internet, get a code for a video game, and give it to one of you. How do you win the code? It's simple. Be in the chat like you are right now, unless you're watching the archive on YouTube, which we do now. But one day it'll be up as an MP3. Or be a subscriber on Twitch. If you subscribe to us on Twitch, you're automatically entered, don't need to be here. Plus, you get the Kind of Funny logo next to your name, you get the Kind of Funny emotes, you get private chat time with us, and you get the show ad-free. Or you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny or kindoffunnygames and give us any dollar amount, $2 or above, and you're automatically entered to win there and never have to be here. Excuse me. Today, what are we going to give away? Let's click into here now. Go over this thing. Giveaway codes. I can tell you, random number generator says we are giving away to, all right, the Kind of Funny Patreon. The winner is Alex Kubiak. I'm going to grab his email here. Alex Kubiak. And then Alex Kubiak is going to win Pinball FX2 VR for PlayStation VR, along with the Season 1 expansion. Congratulations, Alex Kubiak. Thank you for your support. Colin, clap for Alex Kubiak. Thank you very much. I said Colin, Nick. I didn't say you. Colin, you can stop clapping for Alex Kubiak now. Colin, you jump into the chat. I'm gonna send off this email.
Okay.
Give Colin your questions, comments, and concerns.
Soak it all up, everyone. I'm back. I haven't done this show since, let's see.
I love when you
16?
say this because it sounds like it's been so long. You've missed like 4 shows.
Since December 16th. That was the last show I did. December 16th. It's been almost a full month. I don't remember how to do it anymore. I'm not even the host anymore. What happened to my show?
Sorry, Colin. I've been meaning to talk to you about this. You're fired.
Oh, what's
You're
Schwarzenegger's
terminated.
thing? Is that
You're
what it is?
terminated.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So soak it all in. Who knows when you'll see me again?
Thursday. You'll
on this
see him
show.
Thursday.
Maybe.
You will.
All right. Cue up your questions, comments. We'll talk to you for a little while here. The Chicago Bears says, Colin and Greg, is there ever a chance with poor performance sales we will ever see Nintendo publishing games on PS or Xbox? Yes.
100%.
I mean, there's a significant chance that that's going to happen, I think. A better likely than not chance that that eventually happens, I would say. Right now. Let's see. Night Stalker asked why Nintendo can't get their shit together. It's a lot of moving parts, but these things, turning a ship like that takes time, and I thought that it was happening.
It
For a
seemed like
couple
they
of-
learned. It
yeah.
seemed like they were picking up on the cues everybody was dropping on what they wanted.
Someone asked for predictions of Switch and Metroid. My gut feeling is that Retro's not working on Metroid. But if you assume Retro's game is probably going to come out in 2018, whatever it might be, it would be great to be a Metroid game. But as I reminded you guys, Metroid sales are very low. Let me see if I can find full sales for you here. Metroid video game sales. The best-selling Metroid game of all time is Metroid Prime, which sold fewer than 3 million copies. We don't have other M sales, we don't have Metroid Prime pinball sales, and we don't have Zero Mission sales. But other than that, Metroid Prime sold 2.78 million copies, and the next best-selling Metroid game was on the NES, which was 2.7 million copies. Super Metroid even sold 1.5 million copies. So, that's not going to move any needles for anyone that isn't already probably going to buy a Switch. So that's important to keep an eye on. And when I first saw those numbers, I was super surprised by that too. I thought Metroid sold and pushed way more units, but it doesn't. So
it's just we talk about it, and like we're in that echo chamber, like we always talk about, right? That skews your perspective, where you think that's a big game for everybody, but in reality, it's just a big game for us.
Let's see. GB Packer 420 says, "What are our Super Bowl predictions?"
Patriots.
I'll say Packers Patriots probably is a reasonable.
Packers have been playing really well.
The Packers will play the Cowboys. I really do. I've been saying for all year, and I believe the Cowboys are going to get bounced this weekend. I think they're super susceptible to being beaten. Their defense is terrible. I don't think there's any shame in that. They're being led by a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back. They'll be back. They're built to win. They need to get some defensive parts on there to win, and I don't think they're even going to survive this weekend's game. But so I would say Packers Patriots. I'm hoping for Packers Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are just bizarre. Like in watching a few of their games this year, I think the Chiefs just run these strange packages, bunch of tight ends on the field all the time, like real dipsy-do fucking 5-yard passes. Alex Smith just engineering drives. Like it's just they're an interesting team to watch. They dismantled the Jets, like just completely dismantled them. And I like that. I like their style, and I like Andy Reid, and I love that Andy Reid gif of him busting through the wall. I don't know if anyone's ever... You've seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's good. Monkey Terry 20XX says, Greg, thoughts on Superman Multiplicity? I don't like it. I thought they were marching in a really interesting direction with these books of, like, when they went to the fair together as a family, I was like, oh, this is awesome. And now every book is just more and more insanity. It's like, come on, give them grounded stories. This is what I want. I do like that Superman has red boots again, though. Thank goodness for that. Kendall Chase 666. Greg, did you end up liking Stardew Valley? I haven't gone back to it since that first night. I will one day. Probably, maybe, who knows?
And some people are saying the Cowboys defense is good. No, it's not. They have the 14th ranked defense, and they're first against the run, which is irrelevant against Tom Brady, who can do whatever he wants with the ball. And once he spreads the field and then Blunt can start running, you guys are gonna be in a lot of trouble. I'd be really surprised if the Cowboys win, if the Cowboys, for instance, went to the Super Bowl and were even able to beat the Patriots, because it's clear that the Cowboys, playing a very similar team in the Packers, less reliant on the run. I'm going to be surprised if they win. If the Cowboys get through that, then they'll play at the Falcons or the Seahawks. And then they're going to get, at the very least, they're going to lose in the Super Bowl. But I don't see them getting through that game. Sorry to interrupt.
You don't interrupt anything. We're doing questions and answers.
Sorry to interrupt.
You answered a question. You're allowed to do that.
No, don't do that. The Packers, man, just, I don't know. They remind me of the old Giants. Once they
when Eli was taking them all
like
away?
2007 and 2011, once you get in, the Packers look very well. The Packers had pulled off a string of victories, but once they're in, all bets are off. The weird one was I was talking to someone. Oh no, we were talking to our friend Adrian about it, where I was like, the Falcons Seahawks game is weird to me because I would always pick against the Falcons forever. In the Matt Ryan era, the Mike Smith era, whenever they'd be 14-2 or 13-3, and they just get fucking destroyed every year in the first round of the playoffs. So I'd always pick against them. It's a different team now.
Yeah, true.
That's going to be a good game. I think that's the game that's going to be the best one. The Steelers Chiefs should be good too. Anyway.
Vic Darkbomb says, Colin, did you see the Life of Black Tiger trailer? Quite ironic after your latest Colin was right. I put them both in a tweet. I said, watch this and watch that. Because that trailer is awful. Did you watch it?
Which one?
The Life of Black Tiger.
Oh, no, I did see that.
Yeah.
I wish that it came out the day before because I would have integrated it into Colin was right.
It was fun.
It was a beautiful marketing.
I tweeted them both out. I'm like, watch this, then watch this. Hashtag Colin was right. Now, NH Drumline 17, why do you think Nintendo's online platform seems to be so much further behind the competitors? It's been over 12 years since the launch of Xbox Live, and about that for PlayStation Network. So what do you think is causing all the major delays?
It takes time, man. That's the major thing is that the infrastructure, you have to, not that the infrastructure, for instance, of Xbox Live as it was released in 2002 is the same as it is in 2017. It's not. That was 15 years ago. But when you get the ball rolling and you have the expertise and you have that infrastructure set up, it's easier to make moves. The fact that Microsoft was first is the reason why Xbox Live is considered the best ecosystem and the best infrastructure because they had the most time to work on it. And then PSN is second because they had the second most time to work on it. Nintendo ignored this problem for a really long time.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that, I think it was Iwata, not even a decade ago, around the time that Wii launched, said that people don't want to play online. Well, he was fucking completely wrong, and Nintendo was completely wrong, and that was I don't want to play online. He was talking about me, but they were wrong, and they had that mentality. So when you need to build an infrastructure like that, it takes a lot of time and a lot of resources, and they're just ill prepared to do it. They probably do not have the expertise to do it. They cannot hide. It's hard. And so I think that's the reason why. I just didn't think that they were this far behind. You can't get voice chat? It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even far behind. It's just, if that's true, if there's no trophy and achievement system in this thing, I'll actually just laugh from the belly, man. Like, they just do not fucking
I don't think there is, man. They would have talked about it. I switched it over to subscriber-only mode, one of the benefits of being a subscriber. Before then, I almost forgot that our friend Ray Gutierrez...
Wait, before we get to that, I put one more story up. Have you seen this story?
No.
There's a series,
yes.
There's a series called Sky Art Urban Myths that there's a trailer for a couple days ago that looks hilarious. Like, the show looks hilarious. It's basically like reenactments of urban myths with like really famous people.
Okay.
Joseph Fiennes, who's Ray Fiennes' brother, was supposed to play Michael Jackson in it. And in the trailer, it's fucking hilarious, but people flipped their shit. And they actually they're not airing that episode anymore, and they took the trailer down.
Why? Why?
Because it's super offensive, I guess, that a white guy's playing Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but I mean, to their credit, like...
Are we looking at the image?
Jackson,
Show the image to the kids.
It's silly.
Oh, okay.
Because right now you're just talking about it, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, look at that sweet fade you did.
Yeah, dude, I've been doing fades all day, dog.
Nice job. Fuck you,
anyway,
Kevin.
I wish I could go back and find the trailer, because the trailer is really... It looks like it's going to be a hilarious series.
Oh, the trailer's got to be mirrored everywhere.
That's a good point, actually. I probably can
You just go into YouTube, you put this in, I'm sure you'll find it.
Why don't we... yeah, I'll find it on the other page. Why don't we watch the...
All right, so basically Ray Gutierrez, formerly of PlayStation Blog, formerly of Destructoid, now of Patreon and Murder Palace, shot this movie, Pitchfork. It's out today. He sent over a Red Band trailer. I thought we'd give it a watch.
Hold on. There we go. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, you can't do green screen because of the balloons, right?
Yeah.
Well, you could. Those would be balloons in there, I guess.
I don't know. You don't have a whole... Oh, there. I'll just do this. Hopefully we don't get claimed on this.
Perfect.
Mom. Dad. This is the gang. There's Gordon. Claire. Matt. That's Rocky.
Nick, pause it for a quick second.
Yeah.
It's a Red Band trailer.
Oh.
You think there's going to be titties in it?
It's on
Definitely.
YouTube.
No, YouTube does Red Band trailers.
Oh, really?
Do
Yeah.
they put titties in them?
Do you want me to scroll through real quick and see?
Yeah, probably smart.
Stand by, everyone.
I mean, I say, let it all hang out.
Don't get me wrong. I love a good titty, in a horror flick especially. But if I know Ray Gutierrez and the way this is going, you never know what you're going to get here.
Stand by, hold on. Just look.
Because I don't think Twitch allows the titties. I don't think YouTube does either, though, do they? They like Red Band, you can curse and shit in. But I remember we used to put up IGN sometimes.
Good point. Yeah, I think you can curse in it, but I don't know if there's going to be boobs allowed.
Yeah, I don't think YouTube allows titties. So, all right, we should be all right.
I'm not seeing any breasts.
And you are what I like to call a breast finder.
I should be able to find them if
if there's a
were
breast in anywhere, you're gonna find it. All right, back to the trailer. Thank you very much.
Janelle. Lennox.
What the hell was that?
And that's Flo.
If she's gonna die.
Let's go, motherfucker!
Now, with the claw being on his left hand, does it indicate that he's left-handed, or does it indicate that he wants his right hand free?
I thought he might have the claw as a hand. Kind of like you have a hook, but he's got a pitchfork.
Looks interesting.
That's Pitchfork. Our friend Ray worked on it. Congratulations to you, Ray, getting a movie out. That's no small feet.
You want to watch Urban Myths Season 1 trailer?
I kind of want to do.
Here's the thing. I feel like you gotta
I gotta plug my
you gotta
computer.
put his picture in there though.
I gotta plug my computer.
Okay, I can. I just have to shrink you guys down a little.
That's
bit.
fine. I'm just saying I mean, we're gonna get in trouble, I'm sure, with YouTube no matter what. I just don't think we should be all straight up ripping the trailer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Stand by, yeah.
I don't think Ray's gonna care, but these folks might, you know?
I mean, this is the best I can do, so we'll go with
You know
this.
what? You're the best I can do. I love you very much. You do a lot of good work.
I love you too.
Well, I'm gonna see if there's anything else going on here in the sub-only chat.
This show looks so fucking funny.
Is it supposed to be funny?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
It's like a comical. You ready?
We are prepared. Go.
Stand by.
Now, this is the Urban Myth trailer that was too hot for TV.
Yeah, I believe they pulled this down.
Gotcha.
Hi, can I help you?
I'm looking for Dave.
Now join in, Andre.
I do not know the word.
I will introduce myself as Adolf Hitler, academic painter.
Miss Taylor,
You clocked me, darling.
get ready for the finale. Where's Dave? I'm Dave.
So why did you start taking LSD? To feel more like Cary Grant?
What is this I'm holding?
A torch.
The marble lions.
They are horses.
I sense the danger. You always have such keen senses, Michael.
It's like when he sensed Prince was trying to kill his monkey through dreams.
Father said you wrote a famous play. Nothing happens.
Twice. Nothing happens twice. Don't sell me short.
People lost their minds about that?
People lose their minds about anything. Fucking crybabies.
Let's do a couple chat-only questions before my computer dies, read the subs, and get the hell out of here. Here we go. Beat Officer says, how should I break the news to a customer that their $2,000 car part is about to become $3,500 because of an additional item?
I mean, if it's an additional item, then the car part is no longer $2,500. I mean, if it requires an additional
That's
item.
how much it costs. Tell them that's, this is dollars and cents right here. Oh, yeah, somebody asked about this finally. Drewbaga1313 says, Greg, does the VHS have your codes for Resident Evil 7 on it?
It has to.
They sent us this, this is from Capcom. It's a VCR and a VCR tape, and then they gave audio-only out plugs. We got to figure out what the fuck's going on with it. I emailed Capcom, I'm like, is anything important on this tape? Because this is the kind of thing.
This is some 2008 shit right here.
And this is the thing is, I celebrate a decade in the industry March 1st. Am I finally old and jaded enough where the box comes and it says Resident Evil, and I'm like, fuck yes. Tear it open. This is wrapped in plastic, and that's in a manila envelope. So I grab the manila envelope, and it feels like there's 2 PS4 copies of the game in there. Tear it open. It's a VHS. I'm like, motherfucker.
The codes have to be on the
I got a morning show to do. I'll bet money it does not have codes on there.
I bet money if that doesn't have codes on there, it's going off the fucking roof.
Well, no, I want to digitize. You can throw that. I want to digitize wrestling tapes with this. How much you want to bet?
It's going off the roof.
No, not that. No, I don't care. Whatever. I guarantee. Without shadow of a doubt, I don't think there's codes in there. I think it's gonna be some stupid.
I don't see. Here's the thing. This is the funny thing. I don't think PR understands this. Like in any company, it's so strange.
Yeah.
No one likes this shit.
No.
No one likes getting this kind of stuff in the video game industry. There's not one journalist or critic that likes opening a package when they have to review a game and just get into it and they're like, here's fucking 8 different cubes. Doesn't this make you more excited?
It's like,
no, it doesn't. Just give me the game so I can do my job.
Exactly, and that's the problem. When I get to being the old jaded gamer, and I was talking to Nick about it today, of just like maybe at IGN when I was young and stuff like that would come, like when I got the Born Identity phone or whatever, like all right, whatever. But like now it's like I got to do the morning show, I got to answer emails, I got to do thank you videos. Nick and I have a meeting today, but it's like I don't have time to fucking go dig around and make it work because it doesn't even work on any of our monitors. You got to use this TV. It's a pain in the ass.
You like the show?
You were hot about that this morning.
Yeah,
literally sweating.
Because it was like, well, I just ridden the bike into work, but yeah, I was also just like, fuck, I want to play that game, and I was like, oh, awesome, we have it for the weekend, and then it's this, whatever the fuck this is. They're doing stuff, and like that's the thing, because right here, Start an Infection said I would appreciate it. I understand that this shit and these cool tie-ins are cool as a fan of a product. But I just want to give me the fucking game to play.
Just trust me, if you had to deal with this for a decade, like these kinds of like. It becomes overwhelming and it becomes ridiculous. I know it sounds like we're jaded, but you just don't have the context necessary to know how fucking annoying it becomes. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, you get to go on trips to go play games. I'm like, guys, like we were literally like had to send someone for Assassin's Creed 2 to Italy to play it. It's like you could have literally just sent someone to San Francisco and showed the game, and you're just annoying everyone.
You could just send them a digital file of the game.
It's just, you have to have the context to understand that like it's a complete waste of time when you have 70 hours worth of work to do that week. And you have to like also get on a plane or also fucking plug a VCR in. It's like, it's not fun. I'm sorry, it's not fun.
I went on that Italy trip.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Well, I'm sure you had fun. You didn't do anything.
Nick, you just set up a camera to direct feed, and then you fucking drink a Diet Coke.
I played Assassin's Creed 2 for like 5 minutes, and then I just smoked a lot of cigarettes and
talked
to our cute Italian guide.
Those days are done. I mean, those days are largely finished now. No one ever asks to go anywhere. Like, because they'd be like, hey, do you want to play the game you've never heard of? We'll send you to Warsaw.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm good. Thanks.
Oh, here's a final question. Comes from Matt McCombras. So how about Gorilla Cambridge closing down? Thoughts, Greg and Colin? We didn't have a show when this one happened.
Well, this was going to be one of the original topics that I was going to do this coming week, but you have spoken, and I will do the Colin was right on Switch. It's sad news. It says that Riggs sold very poorly. That's not a huge surprise. I was doing a little research. There are fewer than 30 PSVR games available, and I'm talking about VR games, specifically not VR-enabled games. Riggs never charted in October, November, or December, I believe, on any of the top 10 charts for VR sales. As a $60 game, it was obviously not in the top 10 sales for those 3 months cumulatively as well. So Riggs sold very badly, and Gorilla Cambridge was a sacrificial lamb. And that's unfortunate because they have an incredible amount of talent at that studio, and I was excited that Gorilla had a satellite that could deliver some good games. They made Killzone Mercenary, which was one of Vita's best games. So it's disappointing. I think it's a harbinger of things to come for a few other studios in that family. I think that it's clear as the day is long that studios if they're just shutting down everybody, and Media Molecule's the one on my mind where I'm like, you guys are in trouble. Like it's because if the expectations are your game must sell, well, I don't think there's a prayer that Dreams is going to sell regardless of what it is, and you've taken also God knows how 6 years.
Long time.
The nature of first parties along with Dragon, what is that game called? Scalebound from Microsoft, which is a second party game, is the dynamics are changing very rapidly for both Microsoft and actually more immediately in the first party for Sony. It's sad. I know people there. It's sad.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny Morning Show. Each and every weekday we come to you with the nerdy news you need to know about before jumping in the chat to answer your questions, comments, and concerns while giving away video games. If you like that, make sure you click the follow button so you never miss it when we go live. We're almost up to 100,000 followers, which is awesome. If you really want to go crazy, you can subscribe, get entered to win stuff, not have to be here, get codes and things, and kissing balloons. Oh, Billy. Let me finish off the subs and resubs. If I read your name or your sub and resub, we love you, and I'll finish them off left and right. Don't worry about me. I'm just playing with my Joy-Cons. I'm making mixed drinks over here. Eric Castro should get on a fucking drink making game. Mike Dog 7. Dubri Bengarala. Mayor. Cut the feed. Nintendo Sushi. I had a pre-order before the show and canceled it after. I actually believed in Switch before the event. That was meant to make me believe. They lost my $300, and I've already been convinced of when. And they lost my $300 that I'd already been convinced of when they were silent. I'm genuinely upset. I thought they were back.
I was thinking about that. It's unknowable. We'll never know the answer because it's impossible to know. But I wonder if they actually made more believers or lost more net last night.
Yeah.
In other words, there seemed to be way more excitement about this thing before they showed it
than
afterwards. And I wonder if they actually hurt themselves.
King of Beasts 44, Garouch 666, a hungover baby, Past it all. I am Elon Chanson. I am Eli Nicholson. Love watching. Thank you for spelling it out because it doesn't make any fucking sense written all together. Love watching your show every day. Can't wait to see you process throughout the year. G Hornet. Here's to 666 more months. Hail Colin. Colin wins. Peace and Geeks. Basso Mand 11. N Carson 9. Kaliner Wolfd. Alien 5000, Will Wise 213, Rezo Gun Ray, Gil Beezy 23. Thanks for the Nintendo Switch coverage and happy birthday, Nick. Loyola Prop 1, Chaser 360. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your support. Thank you for watching, and remember, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.